Ready? Rock, paper, scissors.
Well, it looks like Brian. Brian wins.
You always go with paper.
At least that's what Jen said.
Take it away, Brian.
So I can introduce it. All right. We are reviewing Secret History. Leap date, May 15th, 1955. At Princeton University in 1955, Ben must find a formula hidden by Albert Einstein that holds the key to nuclear energy before the Nazis get it. He's surprised to run into a familiar face on campus. Broadcast date is Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. He is Sergeant or Professor Henry McCoy. And
Sergeant, Professor, Doctor.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We have our regular cast members. Everyone is in this, including Tom and Hannah, which we'll get into.
But not Magic.
Not Magic, right.
But he's credited.
Yes, thank you.
But he's not in it, yes.
Magic took a personal day.
Mm-hmm.
He never does that.
Guest cast, Floriana Lima as Simone, or the Mystery Woman. Alice Krimmelberg is back as Rachel. Cullen Douglas as Dr. Carl Donovan. Addison Witt as Lawrence. And then the supporting cast, we've got David St. Pierre as Blue Eyes, or Klaus. David Chatham as Fedora Man. Betsy Baker as the Librarian. Jake Regal as the Mathematician. And Seth Allen Austin as Officer McGill.
That's a lot more than I would have said.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Co-starring people, yeah. All
and
right.
Then, lastly, written by Drew Lindo and directed by Pamela Romanowsky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drew Lindo is one of the executive producers, head writers. Pamela Romanowsky.
Co-executive producer, usually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mike, you want to go first? The first impressions.
Oh man. I had trouble with this one. I watched it the first time, and at the end I was left feeling like what just happened? Did something happen? Did nothing happen? So I watched it again, and it didn't really improve my my impression of the episode. It wasn't a bad episode. It was just, I think it had too much project time, and I couldn't really get into what they were trying to explain the leap. It was just all these Einstein references, and suddenly there were Nazis, and it's just I don't know. And the project time was too much. Still on this love triangle thing, and now apparently Ben's over Addison and is, kissing random women in his leaps. And, okay, he's over Addison now, I guess, and into Hannah, but it felt like too much crammed into one episode. And I think this goes back to what we discussed before about they have more story to tell than you can cram into 42 minutes of network television. And I don't know. I somewhere along the way I got lost and and never caught up with the plot. So
Do you guys remember what I said last week? About this episode?
Oh, you predicted the whole,
I predicted it. I just didn't know about Hannah being the new love interest. So
right.
I kind of predicted it a little.
I kind of saw it coming. I kind of I'm kind of following what you're saying, Mike. It's the same. I did like it. I found it interesting, but I was having a hard time following because, again, we feel like we're two different shows competing here, and it's like with the different storylines going on, and I'm trying to follow the Leap story, but there's too much going on. It's just I don't know where they're. Well, I guess we'll get into it more with this whole the chip thing, but I don't know where we're going with this other project story. So I don't know, Brian, you want to?
Well, let MJ go first.
Okay, let MJ go.
No, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
No. I got to hear it.
I know that you loved it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There's just too much going on in this episode. There really is. Between the love triangle that's messy and there, between the thing with this chip, we don't know really what's going on with the chip and why this other person is getting the data. I don't understand that part unless they're going a totally different way, and they're not going to go that way. I already kind of figured that out. I just don't. It's almost they took. This is going to sound horrible, but it's like they took Raiders of the Lost Ark and kind of changed it around for Quantum Leap.
A little bit with the whole Nazi thing.
Well, the whole thing is, that if he hadn't found it, they wouldn't know about it, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
Same thing.
Right.
So, go ahead, Brian.
Have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live episode with Kate McKinnon and Ryan Gosling where they're, abducted by aliens and they all have a story to tell?
I don't know if
No.
Well, two of them, they get abducted and it's all light and rainbows and peace. And then Kate McKinnon's over there smoking a cigarette saying, well, it's a whole different story over here. She has this wild story about, well, that's how it is because I loved it. I liked it. Yes, Raiders of the Lost Ark, that came to my mind too because yes, if he hadn't found it, none of it would have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered.
I like the story. I like the secret bookcase, even though that was crazy. I just thought it was kind of fun, but I'm not really liking this computer chip storyline. I will give you that because it just doesn't make sense. Ian is a computer programmer. Why can't they just rewrite it themselves?
Oh, but he has to ask his girlfriend to rewrite the firmware.
Right. Yes. And what is that? None of that makes any real sense.
And ruin her career. And she's like, sure, honey, I'll do that right for you right now.
Sure, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not all in on that one. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where that's going to go. But yeah, too much project time in that case for sure. But I like the story. I like the Nazi twist on it. Yeah. And I like the chemistry between Ben and Hannah. He needs somebody. And is it gonna, are they trying to stay away from him being promiscuous like Sam Beckett was a lot of times, and just going with one at a time?
Probably.
Or what are they gonna do there? So, but I liked her. I liked her character.
I liked
Hannah. Her coming back. I like how they brought her back. 6 years later, I guess it was, and how she had advanced and dealing with the problems of being a woman at Princeton amongst all the men scientists and all that. There's a lot of storylines like that in this series. So, it's kind of good. But, I did like that. And the chemistry between them I thought was pretty good. And I like the kiss at the end. I know what is the host going to say when he wakes up kissing Hannah. I'd be kind of excited because she's a looker. Yeah.
and he was like kind of like an old, like the one he leaped into was kind of looked like a bit of
He
an
looked like he
older.
was 40-ish, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
She's not seeing Ben. She's seeing
Yeah, she's
McCoy.
seeing
Yeah,
him.
she's seeing
She's seeing
the
him.
host, McCoy.
Yeah.
So there's
So-
there's some plot holes in there, I guess. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun. I liked all the secret stuff and the secret formulas and all that stuff. It was just kind of different.
I liked it too. I mean, I was into it. I what was taking me out of it was all of the stuff going on at the project, and then I think you even said it last week, Brian, that this week Jen is the hologram. Oh no, wait, no, not Jen. It's
Mhm.
It's Tom.
I was
didn't
like,
see that coming, and I kind of like that too.
I was like,
Hi.
are you serious?
Oh,
Like,
my
Yeah.
call.
really? They're doing this? Okay.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I found Ben's reaction rather immature. Like he was like,
It
"No, I
was.
don't need you. I don't need you at all," because
Mhm.
because of who he was. Not like
Hmm.
he said there is nobody else, and then he accepted it. But like, come on, man, it's
And then
be
Jen,
professional.
the reason why was because
What?
Jen had to deal with Ian. Like I have a phone call or whatever, and then she's
Yeah.
going to check on them
Yeah.
with this whole convoluted storyline, which I don't know where is going.
Yeah, and this is a top secret time travel government controlled project. They just walk off some secret thing going on, and no one's looking into
Right.
it.
Right.
That is a problem.
That's
Um,
just wow.
But despite that, the rest, I really like the leap part of it anyway.
Yeah,
Well, there were a lot of good lines. Like there were a lot of nice little nuggets in there. Like when Hannah called him Future Boy. That was a
Mhm.
nice
Yeah.
little reference.
Mhm. I think it's
And,
a double reference. It's not only Quantum
Um,
Leap, but it was also Back to the Future.
Yeah.
A
Future
glimpse
Boy.
of the future.
Yeah,
Where-
I didn't mean to
which
cut you
told
off, Mike,
Ben-
but
Nope, that's okay.
yeah.
The
Well, then
future
we
is
had Tom really pulled it out by going behind the clock. It reminded me of Tahotep, the Curse of Tahotep, when Al goes
Oh,
behind the
okay.
wall and comes running
Yeah.
back.
Mhm.
Is
Tom
that the
didn't see.
first time anyone's walked through a wall in this series?
Yes.
I think it
think so.
was.
Yeah.
So
think
I
you're
was
right.
kind of excited to see something. There was a lot of effects in there,
Yeah.
Mhm.
fading in and fading out and all that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
and they tried to do the handshake or the high five or the handshake thing, like
He keeps trying
Sam
to
and Al
shake his
did in
hand.
Yeah.
Promised Land,
Like-
but it didn't quite pull off the same way. But it was still kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you saying something before, MJ, and then we kind of cut you off, or?
I said that we were talking about the nuggets that were in it. Like
Mhm.
when she says, Hannah says, "Do you want to see a glimpse of the future?" And then they go in
Mhm.
that room, and there's what is it? The accelerator.
Right.
So
Was it? What was it? I think you
This-
had it in the
The
notes there. Like
Stellarator,
a stellarator.
the
which is a real
stellarator.
thing. That was a real
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I actually looked that
Oh, I
up.
thought
It's
it's.
a real.
I thought she said accelerator.
Oh
Mhm.
no, Stellarator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did Jen call that? A steampunk hamster maze?
Right.
Yeah.
that was a good call. I like that.
It kind of looked like one.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll just throw it out there. I had it in the notes that there's so much going on that we actually had a previously on blurb, which that's the first time we've had that. Although I guess the Saga Cell usually handled that when they were like last season when they were doing
Mhm.
Yeah.
that. Yeah, they were talking about the. I thought there would be more going on with that whole Leap story. Because
There
she's
needed to
saying
be more.
Yes.
I thought that's what the butterfly effect thing was about. They kept talking about if the Nazis get a hold of this, I guess Einstein's secrets or whatever. This is, again, I'm like a little fuzzy on what's like the terminology for the plot and everything, but they're like, oh, this could like really alter the course of history. They didn't really play on that too much. That's what I thought, where I kind of thought they were going with it.
That would have
But-
been a nice.
Yeah. it was like more of like a throwaway just to make us feel like there were higher stakes, because I wasn't getting the like.
Yeah, it was a bit of
Yeah.
a MacGuffin.
Episode. Yeah, that's a good term. MacGuffin.
MacGuffin, yes.
Which is Indiana Jones. That's basically what that is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going through my notes here. Yeah, my notes are all over the place. Oh, so I guess the thing with Tom being hologram is we're finding out more about his late wife. I don't have the notes on me what his wife's name was, but
Kate.
Kate.
She went to Princeton, so he met her at Princeton, so that's why he recognizes everything. And like you said, there was a little bit of humor there, like, oh yeah, the secret room should be over here. Like, oh wait, maybe it's not over here, or something like that. It was.
He thought it was in a bookshelf, but it wasn't in a bookshelf. It was behind the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So how did But how did he find it if it was, unless they moved it?
I think he said something about it being changed around, or
yeah,
maybe the clock
it's
got
been 50
moved
years.
Yeah,
and
it's
50-year difference. Yeah,
and like things like were moved around because I guess they weren't thinking fourth dimensionally. That's kind of what just popped up on my mind now. It's just like it's like, oh yeah, that's the reason why I didn't recognize it, because it's like this room, something like that. Like the room was moved over here or whatever. I don't know. I'm wondering if the whole 1955 thing, like I feel like that was intentional to just make it feel like Back to the Future, like even with the music that was brought up.
Oh, the Papa Loves Mambo.
Papa Loves Mambo. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a catchy tune.
Yeah.
It is catchy.
Yeah. I don't know what the other song was. We were trying to figure that one out beforehand.
No idea.
We can't figure it out.
Yeah. But
I think it was just some kind of, like we were talking about earlier, that it could have been some like jazz playing
generic
in the background.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of got off track there.
They didn't want to pay for anything.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, it kind of sounded like a real song. We just couldn't figure it out.
Mm-hmm. I kind of got off track with what I was saying, though. I guess the whole point was that they're trying to make us like Tom and giving us more of his backstory there. So I felt for him a little bit. I still don't know if I'm on board with him, though, because I don't know where he fits in with this cast that we already have.
That's true. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where he's going to fit in. And even Addison, I mean, aside from filling in when Ian and Jen are off, doing secret stuff, what is she really there for now?
So, I know.
I guess I don't know, unless she's just there to do research. But Ziggy can do that in a blink of an eye, so what's the point?
Yeah, there were some things that Ziggy probably should have done in this episode.
Memoir.
Unless it's a memoir.
Memoir. That's going to be our new thing now, memoirs.
Yeah, speaking of Ziggy, I thought about it, and why has Ziggy not just told everyone at the project that the quantum computing chip is broadcasting data to an outside source?
Right?
I mean, it's a supercomputer that should have security protocols in place, and it's doing nothing. So that's a loophole.
She's a
chip is overriding the
hybrid
security
computer.
protocols.
Yeah.
Oops.
And then why hasn't Ziggy already not gone through the old intelligence files and looked up these Russian/Nazi spies? That
Right.
some of that stuff should have just already been done. You would think.
Yeah.
Unless they were never uncovered, right?
Yeah, I guess.
There
but
was one point.
They found them pretty quick themselves manually.
Yes.
So it just
They did.
Yeah.
There was one point when I thought they were going to do something with Tom because of how he said, "Let me know what Ben finds out," and then Addison's like, "Oh, okay," and he walks away. And I thought maybe because they were talking about Nazis and all that stuff at that point.
I thought so
and
too.
then
at first.
suddenly he was like, "Let me know what he finds out," and then walks away.
Yeah, but it ended up being just sad about his wife.
Mm,
Yeah.
we hope.
I thought some of the interactions between Tom and Ben were funny, awkwardly funny.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But I also wondered, he's in there and doesn't want to, doesn't really probably want to be in the imaging chamber. But then Jen does come back,
Yeah.
but he
Right.
still does the hologram stuff. So I was like, why is he still doing it?
Because they're forcing this. That's what it
Yeah.
feels forced.
Yes,
Because
it does.
Tom is going to be the new hologram. That's my guess.
But no,
surely not.
I don't think so.
Well,
They
Jen
don't.
is supposed to be security.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if Jen is dealing with security issues
And Ian's supposed to be the chief
chip,
technician.
and Ian's supposed to be dealing with Ziggy, then Tom's going to have to do it
Or magic. I guess magic.
unless magic is there. If magic is not there,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have to use Tom because she won't go back into the imaging chamber.
Yeah.
She won't do it.
That whole scene there where it was just like they're looking at each other, just like they're like, no, this isn't right. It was like not a good idea. Like, no, that's where I was like, I was watching it. And I'm like, no, you're kidding me. No, we're not going here. It's like,
I do want him to get to it.
We're really
Whatever
They're
doing
going
it.
to make him be the hologram.
Get it? Yeah.
They're going to make him be the hologram.
We can't go a single episode without reminding us that they were together. It's
Yes.
like stop.
Yeah.
Just this is why I don't like what they're doing, because it feels
Because
manufactured.
it's a soap opera.
I know.
Yes.
it's a
You're trying
story.
to make it a soap opera, and it's
Yes.
not
Well,
a
I
soap opera.
think they made a mistake putting Addison and Ben together at the beginning
Yes, agreed.
because they can't get out of it now in a good way. So they're trying to get out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully this will start being the end of it because I would really like to see something else.
Well, I guess we should talk about. I mean, we're not really going over the main plot of the Leap, but I guess we should talk about Hannah, and like
Okay.
I kind of saw it coming. Like MJ, you usually have the lines. Do you know what she said about what the because she's studying quantum entanglement or something?
She's trying to untangle the quantum entanglement.
Mm-hmm. And talking
I
about
don't
how.
know if that's possible.
And then he actually like reveals to her, like, oh, I'm a time traveler and all this stuff, and she just kind
and
of
she's just like,
accepts it.
okay, cool. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
It's like you're on,
Because she's
you're
a
on board.
physicist. Apparently it's possible.
Of
Mhm.
course. But even if you're a physicist, wouldn't you have the wait, how would
Yeah.
I know for sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I may feel like I know you and you brought this up, but
Mhm.
still, how do I know for sure?
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, he had his lines from New Mexico. No, sorry.
I
Starlight.
understand,
Closure
but
Encounters.
still,
Yeah, he quoted exactly what he said to her, and they were the only two people there.
Yeah.
So I guess how else would he know that?
And that
What more
was
proof
6
do you
years
need?
6 years earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was the thing that
still
she said
that
though?
took a lot of faith just for
Yeah.
her to go,
Yeah.
okay, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
And she's doing a paper on quantum entanglement, and then he tells her his name at the end. So I'm
Right.
feeling like at some point she's going to show up, maybe at the project, later
90
toward the
years
end of the
old.
season or something, because they're going to have to move it forward where he meets her a few more times
Yeah.
Yeah.
to make this work.
And
'cause
you can't meet her
she's a
in
season
the
regular.
1800s, so she's not going to be in the one where he goes back.
Right, yeah,
No.
I don't see how she could
Then-
be.
She
Right.
won't be
No.
in the next one. No.
No.
She
Yeah.
can't be, unless she was a time traveler. But
Unless she becomes a leaper.
Yeah.
which they said that she wasn't. But
Right, they said
Yeah.
that, but
yeah.
But now
But what
that she
was-
knows time travel is possible and she knows Ben's name, is
That's
she
true.
researching a way to do her own quantum leap?
Yeah.
could be.
So what was the thing that she was saying though when she finally realized, and she's like, "Oh, we've met again," and saying something about that like the magnet, something about them being attracted to each other because he's jumping back and she's moving forward in her life or something like that.
Yeah, she says,
Yeah.
I got it. She says, it's my theory, electromagnetism between two polarities. I'm moving forward in time, and you're moving backward, creating a magnetic field. And before we can hear anything else, there's this magic kiss, and he leaps.
Oh, that was at the very end. Okay.
Right.
Because he's wondering if he's gonna see her
This
again.
magic kiss.
The magic kiss.
Oh, it was magic, baby.
This isn't Superman 2 with the magic kiss. Yeah, I know. We're talking about that. It's like I feel like we won't see her in the next one because he's
and there's no
back
leap out.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No, I know.
I don't like that either.
I know. But then I know the next one's like this. Not that we're getting to the end of this yet, but we're just like I know the next one's like the 1600s, and then after that I think it's 1961. So I'm thinking that's also the mid-season finale because the strike's over. So we're getting more episodes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Strike is finally over.
Thank
the SAG
goodness.
strike. Yeah.
Thank
So at
goodness.
least 5 more.
Maybe they can finish up whatever this complicated, messy relationship and just go. We're done.
Yes.
Yeah,
That would be nice. That would be nice.
I know that's the plan.
But it's not going to happen.
Well,
no, it seems like they've kind of gotten there because now, Ben has kind of accepted Tom, and they're best pals or whatever at the end there, and you got.
Oh yeah, they're best pals now.
Oh sure, they are.
They're best pals now. That's great.
Ben's got this hot new girlfriend, so he's all he's good now. So just move on.
So, I have a question about when they go into the secret room. Okay? They go in the secret room. They find the book. This is where Al has been typing. Pulls the book, and the German comes in, and they fight. And there's a fire.
Yep.
Right.
Oh.
They pull the guy out. Did they ever put out the fire?
I know.
Is the library okay?
I didn't even think about that.
Yes.
I didn't even think about that.
I was outraged. He's like, call 911. What, for the German who's been knocked out, or for the blazing fire behind you?
Exactly.
Which is it?
Did they just leave the guy there to escape? Also, what? I missed something there because
no, he got arrested. But
he got arrested.
Well, did he get arrested then or at the end?
No, because they said he was charged with the murder of Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was at the end.
He was the
Klaus
blue
comes
eyes.
back and he's got Hannah at the end.
Oh, yeah,
Remember?
right.
Oh, so what the hell did they do with him then?
They just left him there.
They left him there beside a burning secret room.
Right.
It just, what?
It does appear that that's what happened.
See,
So
I think you can understand why this episode confounded me. Because
Oh.
there were some definite holes in some things there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think it's great that they brought in Project Paperclip and
Yes. Some real things.
what was the other one?
some real history.
Matterhorn.
Project Matterhorn.
Matterhorn. Okay.
And they even talked about the National Academy.
The Atomic Energy Commission.
Atomic Energy
the
Commission.
National Science Academy.
Oh, the NAS. Yeah.
Or NAS,
Yes.
yeah. National Academy of Science, yeah.
So those
I
are
think
the
it's what-
actual kisses with history.
All of those things, yeah. Every
I
bit
think
of it.
And
Hannah was
Albert
working
Einstein,
for-
of course.
Right.
And the Stellarator was a real thing, and it really did kind of look like that. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, Hannah was working for the Atomic Energy Commission, right? That's what she was
Right.
working for? Right.
Trying to crack cold fusion,
Right.
which apparently Einstein did, but then, they had to burn
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, Well, she
But
burnt
she has
the
photographic
formula,
memory.
but she has a photographic memory like Ben and Sam.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
So
kind of roll
she
my
now
eyes a
knows how
little
to
when
do
she-
cold
You know,
fusion.
how many people have photographic memory in the entire?
It's not. It's supposed to be very rare. That's why I
Exceedingly
roll
rare.
my eyes. I'm like, no. It's like her too. Really?
Mm,
I don't think it's supposed to be all that common. It's like I don't even know. I don't know. I've heard something like this that there's not even like a real. It doesn't quite work the way that they say it works. That's what I've heard anyway. But I'm just like, really? It's like, because show. That's why. Because we have to do something.
It's the Hollywood
And they-
version of
Yeah,
a photographic memory.
Mhm.
yeah,
Right.
and they go to Lawrence's house, and of course it's in shambles because the Nazis have already gone through it.
hmm
And just magically there's a picture, and of course it's behind the picture or in the picture frame.
He found it very
you would
quickly.
think
Very
you would
quick.
think that even German spies would like tear open things that you could hide stuff behind.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be probably the first place I would look. I
I
don't
think
know.
we live in a day and age where we have seen it all, so
True.
it's not surprising anymore, like it would have been 30 years
Yeah.
ago or whatever.
Yeah.
There was
let's see
something
what else I
else that
got
I
here.
thought was really funny. It's that she was calling Albert Einstein Al. That I thought that
Yes.
was just funny. You're calling
Mm-hmm.
this
Yeah.
notorious scientist as Al.
I found that kind of weird too because
Okay.
at first I'm like, we're talking about Dean Stockwell. Oh no, we're just talking about
Yeah.
we're talking
Right?
about Einstein, like Albert Einstein. Like, yeah. That was weird.
I did think that
I think that's historically accurate, though. I think that's how his friends do him.
Did they?
Mhm.
Oh, I mean, maybe it just I did find that kind of weird.
I did
I'll-
like the quote from that scene where Ben says Al was wrestling with some premonitions that mankind's innovation, absence of conscious, only brings us closer to catastrophe.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the formula is the catastrophe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Were they
that was
implying?
interesting.
Yeah, were they implying that they said that this is something that he's like Einstein never came up with this? And I'm like, actually, they realized he did. I'm like, did they make this up? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
You're wondering
Nope.
if Albert Einstein
Okay.
actually came up with that formula?
Yeah. Is this something they just made up for the show? You think that like,
I
by the
think- I
way,
think
he
that's
probably
probably.
did some secret thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's
I
what
think
I'm
they
pretty sure
used
that's just made up.
some. How did we say it the other day? They're using the kiss with history as a pretext to
Yeah.
get where they want to go in the show.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they did with the photographic memory too, because once
Mhm.
they destroyed the formula, they had to have a plot device to be able to bring it back for the threat to be real. So
Yeah.
I think
Right.
that's
Because
why they
she
did
could
that.
just recreate it because she recorded it in her head. Right.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I don't think that that's how that works, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I know we've written stuff too that like, oh, people see things and they can bring it back.
I did like the magnet taking the sword back, and then seeing the watch at first. I like when that happens. You see the
she's
little
like, do you
That was
have
a
the
nice
time?
foreshadowing.
yeah, the foreshadowing. I like that part.
Yeah, she was like, do you have the time? And it was like this
Yeah.
kind of like the seductive thing, and she's like, and it's just because his watch stuck to the magnet.
Yeah.
And she's like, like, okay, that's kind of cool. I will go. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but I guess going back to Simone, we found out, I missed that her name was Simone. You said they mentioned it really quick when.
Yes, very quickly. I had to listen to it a couple times to
Mhm.
figure out what it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we already said this, but again, where is this going with this?
The chick in the car?
Yeah, like
Okay.
I don't know where this story's going at all. Like, this is supposed to be like the big mystery for this season. And she talked about, well, she was basically blackmailing Ian, right? And
Yeah.
then
Right.
they come back by, again, I'm getting lost in the plot, but they basically give her some kind of ultimatum, right? And then she says,
Imagine
well, we're
that.
just gonna deactivate this chip now. Did I hear that right?
She
Or
said
did I
that the
miss
quantum
something?
chip will remain offline forever. And they're like,
Right.
we'll take our chances. Because they know that so-and-so, his girlfriend, is going to rewrite the firmware.
Right.
Okay.
When he could do it himself.
Or
Okay.
should be able to. Right.
Because the point of that chip was that's what they used to find Ben, right?
Right.
So without that chip, they can't lock onto his quantum signature.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what I'm understanding, right? Okay.
Right.
So does this mean that moving forward, he's not going to have a hologram because they're not going to be able to track him? That's what I'm wondering.
Unless Rachel can rewrite it to work again. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, before
that's
Ben
where
leaves.
they're going.
The question, though, is when was this chip installed? Because
at some point during that 3-year period, that's how Ian got in there. He put the chip in, and that's what he and Jen are talking about in that first episode.
That 3-year period. But before that chip went in, before the chip went in, Ian was the one that woke up Ziggy, correct?
I guess so.
I
he
think
was
so.
the one that messed with her and figured out what was going on. He was the one that woke her up, per se, so that they could try this. So if he can wake her up, he should be able to fix her without having to bring in someone else to do it.
They kept one monitor on or something like that, right? They kept one thing on when it got shut down or something like that.
Well, that's what Ian said.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then he said, then he told Jen, well, I did something else, but you don't want to know what I did.
Which must have been.
But that's
when he put it. And that's.
But I think that's what this was.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this is the issue
problem.
that it is.
Yeah,
right.
So Ian went and did this backdoor deal with another company to make this chip.
To get a more powerful chip.
Yeah. But they knew part of the deal was it was going to transmit some sort of information, even though it seems like a surprise later. So that's a little bit of a thing.
Right. And I'm not
No, I think Ian knew about it. It's just that other people noticed something was going on because they said the energy spike was higher.
Right.
Yeah, I thought Ian was surprised by that when Tom said that, but I could read it wrong too. So
I think they were, and then maybe they're putting 2 and 2 together that they're getting this information now, or I don't know. I'm a little lost on it too. What were we say? Did you say it, Mike? That you think this is like it's kind of like? Oh no, I think we were just talking about how sometimes we can't hear everything because everything was so modern. TV is low.
Oh, I think I said that in our text chat earlier. It's just There's a lot of whispering and stuff. I don't know if it's just modern TV or if it's just this particular show. I'm missing things, and I don't know if it's just because I'm older.
I am missing stuff. No, but I'm missing stuff too. It could be a combination of that and the fact that they're trying to do so much. This is the problem: is that there's just it feels like this is what modern TV is about, and they have to give us some other subplot that doesn't necessarily tie in to the story that we really want to see.
Mhm.
I mean, they've been good sometimes, but I do feel like they just kind of missed the mark here. The story really seemed to be more about justifying Tom and Hannah being on the show.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this
Getting
felt
them
like.
in there. Yeah, I can see it.
And not really about the leap itself, because as I said earlier, I didn't feel the stakes of this leap.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well,
I
again,
World
they
annihilation is not enough for you. That's what you're saying.
Because that's not what Quantum Leap is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be
Right.
about helping people's
Yeah,
lives,
it's supposed to be
not
about the
You're right.
people.
Yeah.
And it
as
just
he
felt like
said at the end.
So I guess he does kind of help her get her papers published under her
That's
name.
true.
Which
Yeah.
So that's the small part that he did.
right. But
it wasn't made a big enough deal.
yes.
You're
yes,
right. Yes.
Right. That's kind of what I
Compared to
mean.
everything
It's
else.
just like
Yeah.
this other stuff going on is just sort of a bit. I almost want to say it feels over the top. It feels like something you could see on any other show. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's just I feel like they didn't do enough with that whole world-ending scenario. It was just kind of like, because nothing's gonna happen. It's like if they actually had like you were mentioning the butterfly effect, and we thought that there was like we've seen that in the trailers, and I thought that was going to be something bigger. It's not really
And
though.
it wasn't. It wasn't.
No.
I think it will be with Hannah. I think
think so?
something will keep rolling with this, and it'll go in some other direction.
Yeah. Getting back to that, I guess I'm assuming we will see her in the mid-season finale.
Hopefully.
Which is 1961. I'm like, that probably tracks. We'll see her 5 years later again. We got to see her. I mean, if that's
I'm
like
wondering how they're going to do that. Because if she really is a love interest, she's going to get older and older and older as this goes on, if he leaps forward all the time. So if he leaps out of order, that's going to be interesting as well, because then she'll not know certain things and
exactly.
And all
so
that kind
apparently
of thing.
is what the time is this becoming the time traveler's wife? I've heard about that it's a whole I never saw
God.
it. I never saw it, but I heard that it's like about like they fall in love, but it's out like each of them it's out of sequence. So it's like I don't see how this advances if he keeps jumping ahead, because if he keeps jumping ahead like 5 years, 6 years, like we're gonna like the next time. How long are they gonna keep doing that unless we go back again? Then it's like, oh, remember this? I'm like, oh, I don't remember this encounter because it didn't happen yet for her. That's going to be too confusing for a general audience. I mean, somebody like me
you would have to leap forward,
and
not backward in that case with her anyway.
I mean, someone like me, I could keep track of the time jumps like that, but even with me, that might start getting confusing after a while.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's pretty much all my notes. Like I said, it was hard to keep track of everything going on, so.
I have an easier time because I watch it in 30-second increments when I'm doing the synopsis for Al's Place, so I catch almost every single line in detail, or I try to anyway.
And he explains Quantum Leap to her basically. I leap around putting things right that once went wrong. He even says it. Because I gave Brian that clip.
Yes.
And there was another one where he's like just explaining things away, and I'm like, what's the point of this? Why? Again, too much information. Maybe they'll finally figure it out at some point.
What, with the
Hopefully
show?
so.
What they're doing with the show?
Yeah.
That's what you mean? Oh.
And instead of having so much crammed into one episode, if they had an episode, if they would do this, this would help them a lot. Ben's away. You know, he's in limbo somewhere, and they focus just one episode on the project, and then they can wrap everything up there. This is what is going on with the chip. This is what's going on. And we have a 45-minute episode of just that. Then they have another leap. Then it makes sense.
I've heard that suggested. I think they, even in the Quantum Leap podcast, I heard them say that maybe if they alternated sometimes, and every so often they give us an episode where we don't see Ben. I mean, that's not quite Quantum Leap either, but like, if you're focusing on this other cast, like, we need more time for this story.
Interesting idea. Yeah.
Well, but they never, in Quantum Leap, we didn't hear a lot about Gushy, or we didn't hear a lot about Verbena, or Sammy Joe, or Donna. And those are all the main characters. All we had was Sam and Al. And then occasionally somebody would pop up.
Yeah.
Tina. Forgot Tina.
Right.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we've written about all the stuff in the virtual seasons and stuff, but we had, it's a different medium. It's harder to do this on TV in this limited time frame. We had more to do with, like when not like all the novels did that too.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like,
but even the novels explained stuff. They explained it.
Right.
They could at least do something to help explain what they're doing, but they're not going to do it. So
yeah. I was going to throw
make
one
you
thing
come back next week to find out more.
I was going to throw one crazy thought that I had when I'm thinking about this whole thing with Hannah. I'm almost thinking that this is like trilogy, and I'm like, I hope that they're not going to get romantically involved, and then like Eliza Taylor plays like, but like they have a child, and it's like we're going to do. It was a random thought that entered my mind. I'm like, I hope that's not what they're going to do.
I had the same thought. No, I had the same thought, and I hope they do not do it.
Oh yeah, no. I
if
hope
they
don't
do that, I might be out.
Never. Be Sammy Joe's cousin.
I don't think so, because there are enough fans already that are like, where's Sammy Joe? A character that we only saw in one episode. Everybody wants to see her, but it's like, that wouldn't even make sense. It would make more sense to have like Sammy Joe's granddaughter, hint. That would be. I could do that for you guys because I already did it, but yeah, I don't know.
Right?
I like I said, I'm just trying to figure out how far they can take this with her. Like, is she only going to be on this season? Are they going to keep her on? What can they do with her if she's not time traveling?
If they're going to keep her on, she's somehow going to meet somebody who knows somebody who knows, but it's going to be along that line, and then somehow or another she's going to leap, and then they're going to touch in the leap.
maybe
And
you don't
something
need to
like
touch though. Now you see other leapers as they are without touching them.
with them, yeah.
Well, but what now? See, now I thought of something, but maybe it's like, you think maybe something will happen where she's exposed to something, and then when he grabs her, he pulls her with him.
Like Sam did with Leah.
Yeah, and then that's what they're doing. Again, how long you keep that going, I don't know. I know, so we're just
again, you're bringing in evil leapers.
Well, that's not the evil leapers, but it's just
What was
just
that,
an idea of like maybe bringing her with him on his. I don't know. They said that she's not a time traveler, but I don't know. I don't know.
She isn't in the first 2 episodes. She could be later.
Yeah, they haven't gone past 8 yet, so maybe they're just talking about,
I would love to see Carolyn Seymour come back.
Yes,
at some point.
That would be nice. I mean, hey,
she just had a birthday.
Yes.
Oh, she did?
Wish you a happy birthday.
I did too.
He always wishes me happy birthday.
Or even if they brought back Thames, Amada and I met Hinton Battle, so she knew him from a festival in New York. So
Very cool.
So I was like, hey, we could drop him a line, say, hey, you should go back to Quantum Leap, convince him to come back. Anyway, I think that's about all I've got left. Anything else you guys want to bring up? Can't think of
I
anything.
think so.
Can't think of anything right now.
Yeah.
Ian's outfit, the lovely leopard print turtleneck with a brown jacket and gray slacks.
I actually have not.
It was very stylish, actually.
Yeah.
It looked really nice on him.
Well, Ian's like the new, Al was the one that had all the outfits in the original series, so somebody's got to, I guess, carry on that tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've done on the website. Instead of Al's outfit, it's Ian's.
Right. Well, if we got nothing else, I guess we'll wrap this up, I guess.
Should we wrap it up how we started with rock, paper, scissors?
What are we going to do? Rock, paper, scissors? I don't know. I mean, I did like that rock, paper, scissors thing. That's why we did that at the beginning. That was funny. What did Ian say, that the statistical or something like, you always pick?
Oh, that's not how statistical probability works.
Right.
Yeah, something. Yeah, that was. I did find that very funny. Yeah.
I did think it was really neat that Ben had a limp from the lead.
Thank you I forgot. Thank you, MJ. Yeah, I did want to bring that up. So
I thought that was a nice homage to Quantum Leap, at least.
I guess that really. I'm still trying to figure out how that whole quantum entanglement thing works, and if it's like a mind-body thing, because I feel. I don't know. I guess that seems to confirm that he actually is in the physical body of the person. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, why would he be limping? I just thought it was more like that they sort of coexist together. I don't know how to explain it, that they're like...
Yeah. They exist in the same time and space.
Yeah, but they're separated by like vibrational frequencies. That's how like the parallel dimension thing works, and it's like...
Yeah.
And so that's why AJ and I had that first episode be with twins, so that he would be battling two people within two different bodies. Yeah. So that's why we did it that way.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to figure that whole thing out, but I mean, they've played around with it before, but I don't know. Maybe they're just kind of, like I said, he coexists with that person, so maybe some of their physicality bleeds into him.
Yeah.
Seeps through.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, he was a 70-year-old grandmother kicking down drywall in Penn and Teller. So
yeah.
Well, that's like in somebody out there likes Ben. They explain that, when Ben hits somebody, it's the host hitting him, not Ben so much.
Yeah. So if he's not actually in their physical body, that's the only other way I can explain that, is that it's just bleeding into them because they're
They're quantum entangled.
They're entangled.
Right.
Yeah, they're entangled.
Although interesting, Ben said when McCoy leaps back in, or whenever Ben leaves, let's put it that way. When Ben leaves, McCoy wouldn't remember any of it.
Right.
But.
And she was going to tell him that he would have a concussion. So,
right.
Yeah, she said that.
But you're right in the middle of a kiss.
Yeah.
With
I was kissing you because you had a concussion.
Yeah.
I was waking you up.
Yeah.
Somebody hit me. I mean, just knocked me out.
That was the last thing I wanted to bring up.
They didn't think that up. They didn't think that through very good.
I'm just it's a random thing I'm throwing out there that I mentioned in the notes that maybe I'm the only one that noticed that. It's a coincidence that the name was Henry McCoy. I don't know if that's an X-Men reference. I don't know if you guys know the Beast. He's like
The
one of the
Beast.
mutants. He was a
That's the
professor.
Beast.
Yeah, he was a
Uh-huh.
professor. Like they called him
He
Hank,
was.
but his name was Henry. He's Professor Henry McCoy, and in one of the X-Men movies, it's Kelsey Grammer that plays him.
Yep.
Oh,
So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's I mean, maybe Drew Lindo was an X-Men fan and he used that name. I don't know if anybody else is going to mention that in the podcast. I just thought I'd throw it out there that I noticed that, and that's what I thought of.
there, you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, if we're done, I guess the next episode is, what is it? I'm blanking on the title. A Kind of Magic. That was it.
Kind of magic.
Oh,
Right. That's the
Oh,
one.
and is that the one where he goes in the very, very, very past?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Salem the Witches.
I'm warning you right now. I'm probably going to be like MJ with that one. I'd be like, oh, this is. Oh.
Just let him do it one time.
I do not like him going back.
And watch. This will be the one that I'll go, I really like that.
I would love to be here for that.
And then Brian's gonna go, okay, who are you? What have you done to MJ?
I don't know how I feel about him. There better be a damn good reason why he's going back that far, but I don't think there is a reason. I think it's just because we can.
It's gonna
Why
be
not?
witchcraft. It's gonna be the witchcraft.
They brought up the witches. They brought it up in This Took Too Long or something about with witchcraft or something, and then
Yes.
she mentioned it in Closure Encounters about things that look like witchcraft. I'm like, that was all foreshadowing, I think.
There was a mention
Right.
in Secret History as well. I can't remember now. I remember remarking on it, but I forgot to write it down.
Yeah. All right. Well, if that's it, I guess be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. We didn't actually say our names at the beginning.
No, we didn't.
But
we could say
Brian
that.
I've been Damon Sugamelli. This was Mike Bloxam, Brian Greene, and MJ Cogburn. And we'll see you guys next time, guys. Bye.
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 Bye.